Rich, we were chatting about in the bar the other day. There's just all this stuff coming out of our head.
The two of us
There's
together.
all this stuff coming out. It can't stop, eh?
I've got to put a leash around my neck or my brain or
Yeah.
something like that, because it's just, I've got to stop myself from just going wild with doing too much. It's quite easy on the art space because original paintings you just stop, you know, but there's so much happening now. I spoke to you the other day about tequila and you went, what?
Yeah, because I'm also on tequila.
So, okay, so yeah, I've done a wine range, I've done a beer range, I've done a gin range. I've never really done it properly though, so you know, I'm going to launch a tequila range next year.
I think that's where I'm coming from as well. How much are we doing properly, and how much are we sort of? It's a bit of a
Fucking around.
hobby, fucking around, and it's just like,
No, not taking it serious.
which is, I think it's the only way it's going to work there. To be honest, you know,
Yeah.
if we take it too serious, then it becomes like work, and then the creativity doesn't flow. But I mean,
I met up with some guys who said to me they were going to supply me with some Mexican tequila. I mean, we can just get into it a bit more detail than just now, but the thing that amazed me the most was that they said, oh no, you can do like small limited runs and we can supply you. And I said, oh, if I sell one bottle of tequila, it's going to sell for 35,000 Rand a bottle. I don't need to sell 10 a month.
yeah.
Because I'm going to do it.
But when you say 35, I'm going to say, what? I mean, I know some good tequilas. How good is this tequila, or how are you coming at 35?
Okay, so what you're actually buying is you're buying the decanter. So I'm going to be doing like a decanter. This is the actual first prototype.
Man, come on.
Yeah, it's a ceramic decanter, slip molded by Mervyn Gears in Cape Town.
Yeah, I know. So how's that? Early days of radio when we were at at the old, well, it's still the SABC building, but not many people inside it anymore down at what's it, Rocklands Beach there.
I remember
that
with Mark Gilman and Sasha Martininga and
all-
all those
all
guys
of them
back
down
in the
there,
day,
really.
Kevin Savage.
Yeah, exactly. And that was Mervyn Gears.
Yeah.
And he got into this and is freaking killing it, eh?
Yeah, he's retired now, which is quite nice. He's retired again. He was telling me the other day. But I want to keep it local. And when I first started to explore tequila, I thought, I'll just put some tequila in here. But no, it's not that easy. You've got to have the word tequila on the bottle. You've got to have it made in Mexico, as you know.
Yeah.
So,
And you know, good tequila. I mean, we do that whole thing with. Got a granddaughter now over in Mexico. We've got a granddaughter, beautiful little girl, and so obviously we go visit the town of Tequila. You know that what do they call the Jalisco region?
yeah.
And it's got to be the blue agave. But then you can really stuff up blue agave as well. Just because you say, hey, 100% blue agave, doesn't mean it's good tequila. So good tequila is going to go in there,
Yeah.
blue agave. But I agree with you, it's got to come from the region.
Yeah. So look, there's a couple of limitations. So what I've come to the conclusion is that you'll buy this decanter, and it'll be an artwork.
Absolutely.
So
So are you saying this sort of is the look, the final look?
So
of
you're
that?
going to have the candy stripes here,
Yeah.
and then you'll have the spout and a rose. So you basically be buying the artwork. I sell a piece of art like this for 7,500 Rand. I think that's ex-VAT. So if I'm doing a ceramic piece, I can easily sell the ceramic piece itself for 3 times that, which is about, what, 25,000 Rand.
And it's obviously limited. I mean, you're not going to pump it out.
No. So you're buying the artwork, and with it you get your clear tequila bottle, and then you decant it into your decanter.
That's your decanter.
Yeah, you can decant whiskey in here, gin, whatever you wanted to. But the concept is we'll do a limited edition like with a gold one. And there's nothing stopping me from selling that for 28, 35, going even higher, because in the future you'll be able to take this and send it to an auction house and get your money back for it.
No, fair
and
enough.
These will auction off for 10, 15, 20, 30,000. So it's marrying art and tequila. And I mean, tequila's trendy at the moment. Everybody wants tequila, you know. But it's the most purest spirit you get.
Listen, I'll drink. Look, we drink tequila all the time. You know, this. In fact, let me grab this one. This is Clase Azul.
Yeah.
And this is a top shelf premium tequila there.
And what does this retail for?
So out here, I think we're getting it $3 grand, $3.5 grand. I don't know what you're paying for a tot, but the thing is, you don't drink it obviously as a shooter, and I think that's the the biggest thing when you come back to South Africa. You know, what do you mean you're pouring it over ice? You know, it's like we shoot it at the end of a night, and that's how it got its bad reputation.
But how many of those did they make?
No, there's a lot.
You know? Yeah.
No, this is global. So you'll go to the factory, and they have a separate ceramic, pottery, whatever you call that section, porcelain,
okay.
you know. So there you've got a whole team of people. From the beginning, the kilns, everything like that. You've got the hand-painted stuff. So everyone is an individual bottle. They look similar, but they're all hand-painted in that.
I mean, you can see I'm in the infancy of this because I'm aware of that. I've seen it, but I haven't done my research on what they cost, etc. But that's an artwork, and that you're going to put on your kitchen table to brag, to say, hey, look, I only drink the best stuff.
But you know what's interesting? It's a beautiful bottle. But it's also unbelievable tequila. So brag in a sense, but when I said there's no ways I'm going to pay that sort of money, it was gifted to me by my daughter, but there's no ways I'm going to pay that sort of money for a bottle of tequila. You know, 20, what's it, 30 tots or something. And then you have the first tot. Listen, we're not repping for them or anything like that, but I'm just saying it's really good. You know, when you drink good tequila, it's just like, well, you know, man. It's just
you can't. You can't mess around. For me, it's about not making the tequila expensive. It's about making the art piece. And when your bottle empties, you go online and you log in, and you get another bottle, and then you're getting it at a nominal price just for a refill.
You decide what you want to put in there.
I mean, I don't make money out of tequila. I make money out of selling my art, my prints. But this is where we'll make the money. The tequila will be.
We got to get good tequila. It would be sacrilege to put bad tequila into a good bottle like that.
I'm speaking to some guys, and they've briefed me, but it's just too early days. I've got to go and do my research a bit more. And it's, but yeah, you obviously know a little bit more about that than I do.
Yeah, so we were over now. It was like our third trip over to Mexico, and we met a lot of retirees down there. They're coming down from Canada, coming down from the States. They've sold their farms. You know, it's easier to retire on $1 than retire on R1.
Yeah. Are they coming down to the west, the south coast? Or where's the best place in Mexico that everybody's retiring? Like everybody in Joburg, Durban's coming to Cape Town, which is the south.
Yeah, well, that's also interesting. Yeah, it's also interesting coming out of Cape Town. Yes, how expensive are these properties in the city? You know, and I'm going to move up the garden route, and that's now. So the Oaks are now going to Oudtshoorn. You know, they want to move out of the city and give I don't know, whatever they want to. You know. After the COVID kind of vibe.
Joanne and I did a lot of touring because we couldn't go overseas. A lot of inland touring into Rawsonville, Montague, Greyton, Wolseley.
Yeah, I love that.
All these inland,
Route 62.
Yeah, we did a whole route. You know, we went to Tulbagh, Sutherland. We spent a night in Sutherland and looking at the stars.
But okay, so how weird is Sutherland? I mean, I looked. Also, we were coming back roads, Graftonnet, Sutherland, everything like that. Beautiful. I mean, that wide open spaces.
Yeah, it's next level.
I thought Sutherland was underwhelming.
It was all those towns are. Yeah, Sutherland was the worst of the lot that we went to. At about just there wasn't just nothing to it other than the planetarium and the other large planetarium on the hill.
And I find that sad. I mean, the people were cool. We pulled into a little hotel kind of vibe. Everyone is cool, but it's just like, I don't know. You've got these quirky,
70s.
beautiful Karoo towns, and then the hype around Sutherland, you know, the center of the universe kind of vibe.
We were in Barrydale. We started off in Barrydale, and there's a guy there. I forget his name now, Mark Richards or something. We stayed in the Karoo Hotel one night. Which
used to be an art hotel. I don't know if it's still.
It's become the art hotel.
Okay.
And the headlines on the front page there, in one of the newspapers, and I think he's framed it up. It says, what was he? He was in some sort of, not banking. He was in media Mongol saves town with art. Yeah. And you can see it's turned around. There's still that underlying element of poverty.
For sure, we're going to see that in every country town, for sure.
So, and then the second night we went to the one with the signs up. Oh man, it's so amazing! You stay in these little tiny little rooms that have been. It was the old petrol station. And they've really done.
What was that place? But there's great milkshakes.
Yes.
There
was nothing like that in Sutherland. So it just needs someone to move out there. There was a great restaurant. We went to a really good restaurant. So there are people moving, chefs moving out, but in Sutherland there was no artist moving out. So now, when we were in Prince Albert, there was an artist that I met a while back.
Top of the Swartberg.
Yes, he moved out to Prince Albert, made it his home, and spoke to him. I mean, I'm the world's worst with names, but him and I did an exhibition back in 2005. So he's moved out there and made it his home. And you can see that there's a building now with art and there's a presence. So it gives it that, Sutherland just didn't have that. So
it didn't. So to sort of rely on the stars, everyone's going to come for that. We don't need to do anything else. Yeah. But it's just, people are touring. They
want
automatically comparing. You see where you've been, where you're going, that type of thing, and it's just like, yeah, the stars were actually. COVID time. By the time the sun set, we had to be at home.
Yes.
At 9 o'clock, you're home in bed.
Oh shit! I feel like it's apartheid.
Don't open the window. You got to stay indoors. I mean, what is that about? So that also was a bit of a downer for the Star and Sutherland experience. And yeah, man. But I mean, let's go back all the way to school. You did art at school. I mean, obviously we all had to do basic art at school. It was part of the subject.
Yeah.
In junior school, and then did something click? Was it a teacher?
I got goosebumps. I learned one of my best lessons in life, which I've followed through all my life, is I took French in standard 6, which is now grade 8. And within 2 days, I switched to art because all my friends were doing art. And we had this teacher, Mrs. Moorman, and she was a teacher of art. And then I did the first 4 years of my life, and I didn't at school with art, and I wasn't very creative or anything. And then the last year, we walked in on the first day in our last year, it was grade 12, matric. And Mr. Fuel, our geography teacher, who used to give us
we were allowed to get smacked then.
Yeah, and he was standing in the back of the classroom, and I was the cocky one in the school, or in the class. And he was standing there, and we're all sitting around waiting. I said, Mr. Fuel, when are you going to teach us how to paint or art? He goes, and the penny dropped for me. I got up, went and stood and watched him, and I watched him paint. He was teaching us by painting himself. And if you were good enough to learn, and whatever, and he was the most amazing teacher. I got the highest marks for landscape painting in matric that year, and it's still sitting behind my door at home. So it wasn't necessarily the art; it was the teacher. It was the.
Yeah.
Since then, I never carried on. I mean, then I went into the army, and then I did a job for 10 years with a company where I quickly rose to the top. And then I left and I started my own .com with an Indian friend of mine, Ali Khan. And we started off very early on doing scooping up all the early BE business. I eventually sold my equity to him, and I just went to John at Hartberg Gallery and I said, I think I can paint. And my brain is left and right, 100% business and creative. It's exactly
How many people are like it? Nobody.
There's not a lot of people. So most artists are just completely right-brained.
I always get confused exactly with that. It's like
and they just go, can you please sell my art, and they create some. But it's not. You've got to create, you've got to have both. Well, you don't have to have both.
The thing is to take ownership and be able to reap the rewards of your creativity. I mean, that is wonderful, because I mean, we see in the record industry, the whole thing. I mean, you know, these starving artists. I mean, that's been a mantra for centuries.
Here I am 20 years later, and I can take my brand and turn it into and put it onto anything. But yet the art still survives after I'm dead. You can still, there's a secondary market.
No, got it. Yeah. But that you did a landscape, which you got the highest marks for, but you got a very unique style that is globally recognized. And when did that?
That came when I spoke to John. I went to John and I said to him at Hartberg Gallery. He came to visit me yesterday, actually. And we've been friends for 20 years. And I said, I want to paint. He says, well, okay, bring me some art. So I painted about 30 paintings, just random styles. And I put them on the floor in his gallery, and he said, that one. It was a black line, a white subject matter, and the color was on the outside. And it was a cat or something. He said, that's your style. So I took all the other.
It's amazing, huh? Yeah. So you've still got 50 other styles back there.
Yeah, but weirdly enough, I threw all those away. I can't believe they're probably worth $1 gazillion these days. So that just became the style, and it adapted. It's always the thick black line, and the color of the subject is inside. So the candy girls, he said, that's the color. She's happy. She's full of candy colors, and like the splash ones are orgasmic. So but the colors are always on the outside. So that's kind of the whole theory behind it. And yourself?
And myself.
Beer, Bing's brew. I see the coffee's coming out now.
Yeah, no, we've got
next level.
So how's that?
Tequila.
So did some coffee there. You want some? Do you have an espresso machine?
I don't.
Okay.
I've got one of those fancy rocket machines, but whenever I travel, I do.
We'll chuck it in.
So what's the story? Surfing, beer, radio?
So I'll read it to you. The first coffee of the morning, sitting at the sliding door of your van, feet in the sand as a chill mist clears over cooking West Coast surf. The 10 o'clock pick me up, make you feel better about being put on hold for 20 minutes waiting for someone in accounts. The fresh cup for your new client pitch from your home office as your cat stretches across the keyboard, pushing and send. So basically it's your Zoom cup, your room cup, your fly me to the moon cup. So what happened? We've been doing Bing's Brew at this brewery where we're in.
Well, end the story there. Tell me, where did you start?
Where did I start?
How did you make your money and get to where you are now?
No, the money's coming. No, you know what? I've been blessed, bro.
Yeah.
I think we both can say we've been blessed, just with a positive approach to everything, I suppose. A happy, my default is happy. It's like, so if there is a situation, I mean, we've been through, we've had to.
Yeah.
I mean, look at us by now. We've had to be through some situations. We've been through stuff, you know.
More gray. Yeah.
And I think with that sort of time and realizing it's never as bad as it seems when you're in it. It's like when you see the new shit coming, it's like, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not threatened at all.
Yeah.
I'm zero. Nothing can threaten me or faze
Nothing.
me or insult me.
Nothing. Bring it on. You
People
know?
often say, I'm sorry, did I say the word that shit? And I'm going, you can't insult me. You know? It's just, including my work, including my art in a random sentence is generalizing. I take that as an honor, you know?
Yeah.
Because,
No, absolutely. So if you get a really shitty comment, it's like, no, they can't be serious. Really? Nobody can be that mean. Shame, man. Can I help you? Do you really feel that bad about it?
So you're not going to answer the question.
So where did I start?
Where were you born?
Where did it start? So that was Newlands growing up.
Okay,
And then went to Sax. And then Dad, I don't know how he did it. Shame, Dad recently passed away. Super sad. But yeah, so there's also a lot of that kind of thing. I don't know how much your parents were part of the mix as well, but there's no question Dad and Mom. Mom was super creative. Dad had that happy, singing, outgoing, party kind of vibe. And your loving kind of vibe, because sometimes, you know, you see in generations of parents where, let's say, the dad's freaking amazing, but doesn't actually share it. He's always out there being amazing, but not sharing it with the family kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was a proper happy family environment.
Right.
But you also see like the tough times coming through. So I talked about it at the wake and that. How the hell he was in Printback selling boxes, did he build us a house on the beach? Yeah. Which from being in Newlands in the shadow, you know, where the sun sets at 4.
Hard work.
Freaking exactly.
Hard work. See, I've often been told that I've got really good kids, yet I've got a mansion at home, I've got a brand, and I've got some good money in the bank. Always, how do I do it? And I don't think about it. It just happens. I don't. Someone will say to me, "Geez, how did you?" I started this weekly blog about a month ago, and my mum said to me about 2-3 weeks ago, "Richard, how the hell do you get through all that stuff in 1 week?"
Yeah.
And I go, I don't know. And then I still capture it in video, and in text. But it just comes naturally. So I don't know. You'll probably come naturally to your dad.
It just keeps
well.
almost like going back to our creativity. It's not like work. It's like we.
But that would have been instilled in you. That would have been passed down.
Exactly.
Inherited
Exactly. Yeah. Shared. So I think that was the good sort of base, and then moving into Hart Bay, and you want to say learning to surf, but there's no surf in Hart Bay.
I lived there for 10 years. I've never been a surfer, but I can concur, yes.
So we used to just crap. So you'd wait for those winter storms, you know, when it's like massive off dungeons, you know, when they're surfing and towing in. And then you'll get yourself a 3 to 4 foot wave, just a closeout in Hart Bay, and, you know, just go surf there. But our thing was in the summer, you used to grab your board, and you know that neck from Klein Leeuwkoppie and then Karbonkelberg and that. Just walk along the beach. And back then there were dunes, that whole strip from Hangberg across there was dunes. There were never any houses there. So that dune field would run all that strip over the neck down into Sandy Bay.
Sure.
So then we'd hike over to Sandy Bay and go and surf there.
Wow, sure.
You know, and that I think if you can surf Sandy Bay, because it's a super quick takeoff. If you learn to surf in Sandy Bay, you pretty much can make any wave. You know, it's just a up and go. I don't know if I could still. Actually, I went back to Sandy Bay. What a stuff up. And took off on my first wave and didn't make the drop. you know, just free fell. It's not a big wave, but it's a fast, shallow wave. And it split my legs that way, at my knees. So that leg went there, that leg went there, and tore, I don't know what you call these, medials or
I don't know.
chameleons or whatever they are. Yeah.
Tendons of some sort.
So now you've got to walk perfectly straight because you've got a long path to get home. No one's going to get you out of there because if you tweak it a little bit, you just fall over. So that was 4 months recovery. So that was then. This is now. We don't surf Sandy Bay much anymore. Eh?
How often do you surf?
I haven't surfed once since getting back from Mexico. It's been it's been flat, it's been crap. And the only time it got half decent, it went howling onshore.
So you
howling
surf when
westerly.
the wave allows you to surf. You surf when the wave presents itself to you.
Exactly, but I mean, even today, it's 1 foot. But you keeping yourself fit cycling, eh?
I used to do a lot of cycling. I run now. I mean, I've done 3 Absa Cape Epics. I lost a drunken bet in 2011 to do this bike race called the Absa Cape Epic, and I went, the next morning I woke up and typed in, and I thought, 8 days of 100 and I don't know. Anyway, so
that's proper. That's a proper test. It's globally recognized.
Yeah, no, it's a mental. It's generally designed for old middle-aged men with too much money in a crisis, and they don't know what to do with it, and they're too late to climb Mount Everest because there's a queue this long at the top of Mount Everest. So they throw 200,000 rand at bicycles instead of mountain biking gear and stuff. Mountain hiking gear.
Yeah.
So I did like a 3-year stint of that, and then in my last Absa Cape Epic, the second last day, I had a horrible fall. And I really struggled to get to the end, and then the following day I struggled on the last day. And you're already 7 days in, you're completely at the end of your...
Yeah, but I mean, you're just getting back. It's a mental thing as well. Eh?
So I went about 3 months later when you've recovered, I went and there was a guy that at one of the Continent Kloof came over the hill, smashed down. You could see he was horrible. I had to go and run down, go in an ambulance because there's no signal. And I rode home and I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that to my kids and myself and end up in a wheelchair. Not that I'm dissing mountain bikes. I had my share. I moved on kind of thing. So I do a little bit of running now to keep fit. I don't...
Do you enjoy running?
No.
I'm exactly the same. I know we need it to keep fit. I mean, it's the best way to, burn fat and that sort of thing. But I freaking hate every step.
It's like a 50-50. You get a bad day and a good day. And on a mountain bike, there was never a bad day. There was always it's a different type of pain. Yeah. It's a ego pain that you can get past. But running is... I don't think I have a running body, but because of the heavy, big bones and stuff. Yeah. But it's 50-50. I go on the beach with Joanne and we run along the beach and it's beautiful. You can't believe that you can have that all the way from Melkbos to our house to Melkbos Beach and back. It's like 5-6 k's, 2-3 times a day. It's beautiful. But,
yeah. No, I can't get. Maybe I should run with music. I don't know, but I just
And kite surfing? Can you
I tried it. I just want to check if everything's still running and working.
Okay.
If I've turned it on. You see, I get up there.
I didn't want to be the one to say it because I know we're running.
We'll fix that in post. They'll speed it up there. I just can't get my mind off each step. I'm hating every step. So I try and think about my arms or breathe the sea air or something, but it's just like...
And say kite surfing, you're not into that? Or you
kite surfing, we went up to Longabaan with... great guy was Wes, was teaching us. We went for like 3 lessons over 2 weekends type of thing. And it got the body dragging and all that sort of thing. Never managed to connect the board to my feet kind of thing, but I got the figure 8s in there. But I was chatting to, where were we yesterday? Oh, no, it was Sunday at a beer market. Jeez, we moved 4 kegs of Bing's brew. The Oaks love it. I mean, it's one of the the best beers you can't find. So we'll sort that out.
That's how it should be. We're going to buy this. No, at the next event. Come to the next event.
You can't buy it. But I really want it. No, you don't. Yes, you do, but you can't get it. So anyway, so he was watching that King of the Air.
Yes, in
King of the Air.
Table View there.
Exactly, on Saturday. It was just like crazy what those, I mean, I've seen it over the years. And I think the awards should go to the spectators. Because these oaks are having the time of their life flying around this guy, and we're just getting blasted with freaking 40-knot winds,
It was heavy.
It's freaking heavy. You get roasted. It's just, but anyway, you're seeing the world's best. Anyway, so he was saying that's another level, obviously, of kiteboarding, but
is there money
each
in that
day,
for these guys?
at the top, I suppose. But I think you lose a lot of money as in paying for broken equipment and new kites and all that sort of thing. But I think the second-hand market, there's more than enough stuff around at a fair price to get into it. So, no, he was saying just each time you're going out, you're pushing a little bit further in your sort of comfort zone, you know? Yeah. So you're learning, he was saying 6-7 years has been doing it. I'm not even close to that kind of level, but just an absolute joy. Sure. You know, and you're covering distances and you're flying and you're not thinking about anything else. You just so it's something to try.
When I quit mountain biking, I thought, didn't quit, real hardcore mountain biking, I thought I'd try that. So it's been on my bucket list for a while.
Have you tried yet or not?
No.
Well, maybe we should go and do a couple of lessons up the West Coast.
I've got these big power kites and I just fly them, but I almost cut my hand off the one day. They're so strong, so that's sort of scared me a bit. But I hear these things run off a harness like this, of sorts, that you can't really cut yourself. Or
yeah, well, that's the thing. It's sort of, you know, in the old days, they used to, wipe out across the traffic and that. But now it's didn't they wipe it into the KFC or something? Yeah.
No, that was a paraglider, wasn't it?
I thought it was a kiteboarder learning or something.
You don't have anything to cut that off.
So now what we were taught, if you're losing control, you don't, I'm losing control, it's, hey, I'm losing control. And then it's just, kite unpowers itself, it's connected on the sort of thing to your harness, and then it just...
Amazing, eh? Technology.
Yeah. So you can do that, that's the first thing, in fact, they show you, is just like, let go, don't like, or whatever. So anyway, so me giving you kiteboarding lessons, don't ask me.
I will report back. So what's this other tequila you got here then?
The other, oh my goodness. Okay, so
so you've done the beer.
So I must tell you, art classes, I going back to those days, what do you think my first course was that I studied for and that I qualified in after leaving school while I go pour the tequilas? Think about that.
It's probably something like, it wouldn't be architecture, I don't think.
Nope.
What's that? Landscaping?
Nope.
You qualified for it?
It took me a while, but...
Technical illustrator?
It's to do with food.
Ah, okay.
To do with food.
Chef.
And because Dad saw my varied abilities, he says, listen, everybody needs to eat. So he enrolled me for food technology.
Okay. I also did that as well for 2 years.
Did you?
No, I did it in the army though, in the military.
Really?
I was a chef in the army.
Come on. I must check if you're still on camera. You shifted around there. You're perfect. Jeez, we're everywhere. No, it's okay.
Yeah, I left school and I got sent up to Pretoria, the chef school.
Cheers. So interestingly enough, I did the food tech thing, and then...
That's good, eh?
So this is my go-to drinking tequila.
I saw that in a shop yesterday. It was about 700 Rand, or was it 300?
It's down to 400, 450 or something like that. Okay. So you're getting a decent tequila at 450, and I'd say it competes with an 800 to 1200 buck tequila. Okay. So...
Roster Rojo.
Yeah, I'm super happy with it. So, did a chicken factory I worked in, spice factory.
Sounds like
fish factory down here at I&J. I was actually across the road here at I&J.
So it's chicken and spice. That could have been Nando's as well.
Come on, I missed my calling, bro.
Yeah.
So then I went to the army. Was like, I don't know, 80 something, 85 or something.
Yeah, I was 87, 88.
Yeah. And they put me straight to the varsity up there in Pretoria or something to do work on the rat packs. So I'm terribly sorry to all those who are dealing with stuff from those days.
No, Those chocolate brown, sweet chocolate bars. You were lucky if you got a green peppermint one.
So my apologies for that. I wasn't a great student at the Tech. So that pretty much was.
Yeah, I got kicked. I did my 3 years basics in the army in Pretoria in the chef school. Got kicked off a junior leadership course that I was on because I got caught in a fight. I beat up a chef because he wouldn't serve me properly. I was a real rebel as a kid. And then they shipped me off to Palabora, where I spent 6 months in pain every day of getting beaten up, abused by people, just other people, Afrikaners. So one day I went into the Sergeant Major's office. This Charlie company came down from Angola. I said, Sergeant Major, can I go up with those guys? Me and a friend of mine, Julian Birch. He said, yeah, pack your bags and get going. Within 2 minutes, we were at the Charlie company, and I spent 12 months of my life in Angola. Oshakati and Rukana. And food is a currency. I get goosebumps. Food is a currency on the border.
No, for sure.
So being a chef, you could get your way around and a bit of leeway with. So yeah, but it was those 12 months I enjoyed. It taught me to be a man. And took that shitty kid out of me.
That's a city, like you were saying, you're a little bit precocious.
On the last day of clearing out, that's when you exit the army. My mum and dad came to fetch me in Palabora, and the Sergeant Major still made us do push-ups in front of our parents in the last day.
But there was definitely that abuse, eh? But I think, listen, I'm not saying that's the way to teach kids these days or whatever, but because some oaks couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
But I'm used to having somebody there in my face shouting at me for the life of me I can't remember what it was about. You just switch off.
Same
so it's almost a good skill to have, you know. So these days I'm never in cut. Well, I don't think so, because I'm just
I remember many a day there was had a headmaster at Norcombe Park High School in Johannesburg where I grew up. His name was Mr. Tanetti. And if I was sitting in English Afrikaans and I just didn't want to be there, I'd get up and I'd walk around the school a bit and go to the loo and come back. And some of the teachers were okay with it, but it was just me. And then always Mr. Tanetti was used to, Scott, get into my office. So I'd always be in his office and he'd start talking. Come, I don't need to be here. I'd turn around and I'd walk all the way home, down the passage, out the fucking door, straight all the way home. And we didn't have cell phones in those days, so when you got home, the phone was ringing. Brr, brr. So you pick it up, hi mom. So yeah, that was my real rebel. But I got my matric, I did my 2 years. And that's made
I think that's what, there was no real way out of it, eh?
Yeah, my only way out of it was to create a checklist, you know. Have a family, climb out, do an extreme event, climb Mount Everest, learn a musical instrument, learn a language. So yeah, I've done most of those. Make $1 million, own your own business.
Yeah.
I was chatting to John.
So you were target goal orientated from an early age.
Even to this day. I still want to own myself a Lamborghini. I still want to have a beach house in Clifton or somewhere, and it'll come. Visualize it, and your brain and your body and your visions and your thoughts and everything, your actions, your thoughts become your reality.
It's like, you know, it's like the most basic thing they teach you. You know, it's early days is to visualize, and it happens. And I did 5 points once. You know, 5 points, 5 years, get there, and I got there. I never did it again. It's like a weird thing. I must actually focus again. Do that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Where do I want to?
I just did it one now. I want to take up golf again because I was quite a good golfer as a kid. Used to play out at Kempton Park where Ernie Els was a member and stuff. And I'm taking it up recently, and I went to go see a coach, and he completely, this is like in the last 2 months, he said, no, you got to do this, and I couldn't hit the ball. I haven't been able to hit the ball for a month. He says, no, keep doing that. So it's a whole technique that if you just listen to him. Now, I don't believe in kids, I don't believe in education. Okay, you'll get ADHD kids who are going to be forced into a sausage machine, and they're not going to be successful. They're going to get low marks based on a system that's developed for here. So, yes, it's got better over the years. When we were at school, there was no choice, you know. You got swacked if you didn't get...
Was there even ADHD?
No, it wasn't even,
people had it, of course they had it.
Yeah.
It was just hit it out of you.
Yeah, so I don't know what I have. I don't have ADHD. I've got some things. It's just non-conformist. Don't tell me, you want me to do something, tell me to do the opposite.
I think that's true.
And if you try and tell me, I just go, boom. So that's... it can get you into some trouble sometimes.
But we've got through that trouble already. So, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Too hot to keep. We've got good shit going on. There's places to swim. Hopefully the surf will come. We've got great tequila. It's like, bring it on, bro.
So I'm going to do something now. So Deon and I have decided to do this maybe once a month video get together. So, and we've obviously got a lot in common. We come from same sort of personalities and same backgrounds. So we don't want to go on for too long. So we want to try and keep it in an hour. I think we've been going for about an hour. So
wow.
Let's finish off and tell me more about your tequila and what are your plans?
Okay, so listen, just 2 minutes. I'm going to have to finish it off quick, then we'll pick it up in the next chat.
Okay.
But we've got my video production company, which I've had for 30 years.
Okay.
I've been on radio for 30 years and now on Bok Radio 24/7. And I'll tell you the whole backstory to how that whole thing evolved.
Okay.
The beer was a fundraiser for our son to get to Nicaragua to represent the country surfing. Was meant to be a once-off, for now it's like, 7 years on. And surfing the other day, well, maybe a year ago, a mate of mine says, hey, you've got this whole Bing's Brew brand going with the beer. What about coffee? I said, Brew, I've got a name. Like we say, we've got too much going on. And it's like, yeah, let's do coffee. Let's do coffee. So we worked on the coffee. The coolest thing is it's locally roasted, locally ground, locally packaged. So, you're up against the big guys.
Yeah.
But I think our quality is great, the flavor is great, the price point is perfect. And yeah, so that's why I'm happy to talk about and share it. It's like my beer.
Where'd you get the coffee from?
The coffee is imported from Colombia and Uganda, Tanzania. Oh, geez, I've got so many more stories to tell you about an Angolan dude I met in the car park the other day, but we'll get back to that in the next one. But yeah, so the coffee's good. We're into a few spas now. We are online.
Wow.
We sort of, what do you call it, like beta testing? I don't know what you call it, dark mode testing. So I just want to make sure if I order it comes to me, that the money works well as well. So yeah, in the next week or two, you can order it online. We'll chat about it the next one.
I mean,
Rich? I think it's just been freaking awesome,
cool.
hey?
Here's to the many more, eh?
Too many more chats. If you've been listening all the way, thanks. There's so much more we got to share. Cheers. Oh, nice, eh?